welcome to bexbugoutsurvivor. It's another tailoring your Bergen. We're going to focus on this part here, the top lid, which we can make a floating lid or a free floating lid. It's going to be detached from the spine, it's very easy, and reattached using some webbing and a buttle. It has these type of sliding buttles which will be good to use on this. There's two of them and two quick release or QR clips. Detaching it entirely is a free floating lid. It's free to be detached completely. If I use the other bottle here, it's just a floating lid. An extra bit of space if I want to put large cargo which otherwise wouldn't fit. And to achieve the 100 litres you need to use this snow hood here. For demonstration purposes I'm going to use a sleeping bag, but this could be any additional cargo you see fit you want to travel with in that extra capacity. This little extra capacity here is somewhere probably around 30 or 40 litres. It's quite generous. Let's try and get the lid back on. It doesn't want to come back over at all, and that's because this lid is actually hinged. So I'm going to extend the hinge by putting a webbing in, sewing it under here, so it no longer sits almost vertical. My Bergen already is showing signs of becoming detached on its own. This lid will become totally free. Then cannibalise some straps and webbing and buttles off this. Got plenty of spare webbing here and great buttles, so I can extend this lid quite a long way. Now this bit of webbing I'm going to stitch into the Bergen and between these ribs. Just need to figure out the placement of it all, but for a start we can take this top lid right off. I'm going to do the same with my MTP short back, but I found some different straps here and it'll be a free floating lid, completely removable for my MTP. I'm only demonstrating with a sleeping bag for the extra storage loft here. Could be the requirement just to carry that little bit of extra gear, not necessarily heavy, just a bit of bulk, even some firewood. Use your imagination. But this is a very common modification. Because the stitching's already come a little loose on the top lid, it's only going to need a little seam ripper, and just bring the ripper underneath one of the stitches and it'll come away pretty easy. Some of these frayed ends just with a little pair of scissors. It could actually do with some new ribbon along here. It definitely needs it. Separate job another day. Let's just crack on with making the hinge. This is my jungle compression sack I'm going to use. I've got a couple of these. The part I'm using is this and not the bottle. The bottle I can use for something else. At the moment mine has just got I think the poncho liner in. I can soon find something else. Just put this in. If you haven't got a compression sack lying about that you want to cannibalise, you can just get straps online, bought separately, no big deal, £1 or £2 each. I'm trying to keep all that bit intact. I don't know if I'm going to manage it or not, because it's easy enough to make a new box stitch on the end of that. So one of these will need to be fixed to the lid, which I think is going to be this bit here with the box stitch, and this longer strap I've made is going to be stitched by being folded, stitched there. I can pull on here, which will be attached obviously to the lid. Just folded that bit of fabric in half. All I need to do now is go along that line. Just remains to sew this bit here and this bit here onto the top lid. All done. And all these jobs can be done in just one night, you know, a couple of hours or so, depending on how good your sewing skills are. This one did require an awl to go through the back of the spine. I wouldn't have gotten away with any kind of leather craft needle or anything. So side on, with this being where the shoulder straps are, you can see the lid totally floating free of the actual main body. Same at the front. Gosh, this thing's heavy. You can see it is fully expandable, so I could get even higher or pull the lid down, then the strap to hold the extra cargo in place. Providing this top lid is relatively level, you can either tighten from the front or the back, and that just leaves the MTP short back to do. I have 1mm wax thread, 150 denier. I've cut myself about an arm span. And I'll quickly show you how we start all this off. This is a bottle I'm using. This part here goes to the lid and the male connector goes to the actual Bergen. Run it through some flame, start in the corner, bring the awl through. awl, it forms a loop on the recess side. Reach inside that loop I've made and pull the tail through. Bring the awl back out. Tighten the stitch down. Keep these stitches really small. 2 pieces of cord come out when I pull the awl. I've gone through the wrong side. I'll do one wrong just to show you. Let's go through here. Pull the awl back. That is where I should be coming out, where it's already made a loop. Let's do it wrong. And pull the awl out. You can see I have 2 pieces of thread on the awl. I should only ever have 1. So I don't pull the tail through the loop. I just pull it out and start again. Let's do it correctly. And I'm only showing you this again for those who haven't seen, because once my hand is inside the Bergen you won't be able to see what I'm doing. Pull back on the awl on the recess side, reach inside, pull the tail through, all out. I only have the 1 thread which I know is correct. Pull down on both sides and that loop there will disappear. And that's another stitch. Keep your stitches small and consistent for a more professional appearance. So I've gone all the way around here in the square and put a cross all the way through from corner to corner. That is a box X stitch. This little loose bit I'm holding on to now needs to come back over and sew through there. I'll show you how to finish the last stitch. Grab the awl, come through once again into your project, pull back on the awl to make the loop. Now when I grab the loop, I'm going to pull it all the way through, pull the awl out, and this time it'll come off the awl and back through. So I should have 2 pieces. So I'm going to tie these 2 pieces of thread together using a surgeon's knot, which is just like tying your shoelaces, but I'm going to bring one of the cords through 3 times and pull tight. And the great thing with wax thread is I can melt that in and make a weld. A perfect weld that won't come undone. Always tie off and do your weld where it won't be seen on the inside. So the lid buckle is on. Just count 2 ribs down, 1, 2. That's leaving the buckle just under the lid. Remove the spine rod. strap has been sewn on here on the bottle to the lid. So a cross box there and a cross box here, which is connected to a bottle which we've already sewn to the lid. So now it's totally detachable. Just remains now to actually remove the hood. Simple little seam ripper will do for this job. Let's come into the hood here. Just pull apart like that. Just enough so I can get the seam ripper in. So that's the MTP done. Same kind of arrangement, only it is totally free floating. Just normal clips at the front, the extra cargo, 2 clips at the back, and the hood is totally removable. This one here is just a floating lid. This one here, the MTP, it's totally free floating. So a little bit of extra cargo. Get this back on. So that's the difference between the two. One's free floating, which is this one. This is a floating lid. And I just extend the strap on the back, tighten it down, whatever size cargo is required. So I've still got modifications to do. Got a few more that I'm thinking of for my MTP. For the DPM, I think I'm pretty much there, which means let's get rid of this and bring in a new DPM. One has all the modifications. This one is waiting to have the modifications. I've got all the pouches that I need to put on. Once the work is done, a bit like this one, the value of your Bergen just skyrockets. So I can start with this and end up with this. There's about 7 different modifications to this so far. I know I've added on a lot of pouches and everything, but this Bergen weighs a significant amount more than this Bergen here. Both of these convoluted long backs in DPM, and as you saw, I've already put the pouches inside that, so they should weigh the same. Always had problems carrying this one even before the modifications, and I think it's because it's got a polyurethane lining on the inside, which is why I'll probably sell the one on the left here. One of the more enjoyable builds has been the MTP, I've got to admit. I like the look of it. Already have the 3 utility, the basher pouch, totally free floating lid. On this side, a mesh for my gloves, my saw or my axe. Super happy with the way this turned out, and there's still more to do on it. This one I'll modify and keep for myself, mainly due to the larger pockets here having the Spanish fastener that a lot of people don't like. A lot of people prefer the QR clip. Got some rocket pockets on order, but I don't know if I'm going to put them on. I might just keep it like this. Both the lids are super strong, 150 denier thread. I can actually pick the Bergen up by the lid, even with all the weight in. Also thinking of filling the DPM with canteens, water bottles, softy suits, a basher, a sleeping bag, mats, little hexi cooker, everything that you're going to need. I'm selling it with everything in. It'll be a just add water pack. The minute anyone buys it and gets it, put it on the back, fill up with water and gone. Everything you need. Like I said, I'm not doing these for cheap. I'm not really looking to sell them, but this one has to go. I'm going to start with the other one just for myself because it adds the Spanish fasteners. I don't mind the Spanish fasteners. We're going to be back with a lot more mods for Bergens on future videos coming up. So until then, take care of yourself and we'll see you out there. Happy trails.